Pisces, welcome to your fairy blessing reading, psychic oracle reading for October to November. And Pisces, I just wanted to go ahead and do a few announcements. I did shuffle beforehand. Hold on. My allergies are acting up, so I apologize. But first things first, I have a website now where you can get tarot, oracle card, runes, dream interpretation, astrology readings, recorded or live call down in the description box below. Same for coaching sessions. I have coaching sessions that I offer, and I also have emergency readings available all on my website down in the description box below. When you sign up, it's free to go to, but you can sign up with your email list. I'm sorry, with your email on the email list. Sorry, this is like my sixth reading for the day. And you can sign up, and then basically, like, I will put you in the newsletter, or I will send you the newsletter. I also have an OnlyFans subscription that is free, and it's not illicit in terms of like nudity or sexual things like that. But what you do get from me is you guys get announcements, you guys get firsthand knowledge. It's a little bit different than the newsletter. The newsletter is going to be about other things, not necessarily about like what I'm doing in terms of posting and all that. That's the OnlyFans. And I also have the Patreon page that is available with exclusive oracle card readings that I do not post on OnlyFans and that I do not post on my website. Also, I do have the full moon in Aries reading available for sale for purchase. Even though the Aries full moon passed, it's not a bad idea to buy it and then watch it so you can be prepared for the reading that I will be doing with the tarot for the full moon in Taurus. And I also am selling tickets to a Halloween live. If it's going to be at 1 a.m. on Halloween morning, and the reason for that is because I got to be somewhere that evening. So if you cannot come to the live, I will post the recording of the live on my website for sale. Okay. So just kind of giving you guys all that information. So Pisces, welcome to your psychic oracle messages. I know that was a lot of updates, but I really took the time during this Mercury retrograde to get some things together. I think I actually did it, and I'm kind of surprised that I did. I don't know about you, Pisces, but hold on one second. Now that Mercury's gone direct, it's like everything is, for me, as a water sign, it's kind of strange because usually I have to go with the flow and I have to ebb like the waves, but because I'm born technically Scorpio Sag, it's like I'm fire, water, and then I'm a Pisces rising. So it's like I go even deeper. So it's like I already swim from the shallows to the middle depth, but then I go deep, deep, deep into it. And this is a month where like I haven't necessarily been able to do that. Like I've been able to psychically go there like you guys normally do, but it's different for me. It's not like I get to sit down and really explore like y'all are. And I think it's just because the sun is coming out of my Venus and going into my sun and my stellium. So it's like activating it. And then that Taurus moon is going to also activate my moon. So I have a lot going on in terms of, okay, that's not open to us in terms of myself. But for you, Pisces, I feel like after September, y'all had a break in terms of your psychic awareness. And like I, said, that retrograde was going to kind of throw it off after the full moon. And I don't know if that happened to you. It didn't necessarily happen to me in terms of throwing me off, but my schedule kept getting thrown off with other people's car trouble. So not mine, but other people's. And I thought I was kind of ironic because it's like, wow, I'm actually being allowed to move forward in this retrograde, and yet psychically, and yet 3D wise, I still am, but it's like kind of sharks and minnows here in terms of shallow and then depth, shallow and then depth on what I want to do. I don't know if that happened to you, Pisces, but I definitely know that happened to me. And now I have, oh, Pisces, A blessing of stillness. Oh my gosh. I'm going to read from the book on this one because I actually have not worked with this card yet. I haven't even pulled it, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it because I have a feeling I know what this hints on. But just because I have a feeling intuitively doesn't mean we know. And I never like to assume. So, a blessing of stillness, in terms of working with the Fae, it's about quiet reserve, which is almost like what that retrograde did for you guys. But I don't feel like y'all got quiet as much as you were supposed to. And now, as Scorpio season is here and upon us, for you, it's in your, let me see, let me think of the house it's in for you, Scorpio, where the sun is. Let's see. It's in your ninth house, I believe, which is all about how you live your life in terms of philosophy, spirituality, um, how you view things, and also it makes you extremely more psychically in tuned as well because it is a psychic sign for the water signs. But a blessing of stillness is about taking time to have reflections and taking time to think before one acts, which everyone, I remember my parents as a Scorpio always used to tell me that. And it would annoy me because it would go against my Scorpio nature. But then as I got older, I went more Piscean and kind of reflected like, okay, if I'm not supposed to really do this, then what am I supposed to be doing? And so then I would go in and try to figure it out and, kind of feel it out, but in almost a Virgo-esque kind of way, like the hermit of, well, does this align with me or doesn't? Whereas now I'm like, oh, okay, what is the, psychically, like, or spiritually, what is the message here that I'm supposed to really be working on? See, there's a difference between does this or doesn't align with me? That's Virgo. You guys, it's, well, how exactly does this affect me in terms of spirit and spirituality? That's very different. But also, this is as with all the fae, it's always about going out to nature. And this is about meditation too. Definite meditation. I'm going to go ahead and make a point of that because that's definitely something about the fae is if you want to really connect with them, meditate a little bit. You don't have to do a lot, just a little bit. But let's go ahead and read from the book on this one just because I want to make sure I give an accurate message. I actually have not worked with this card, so this is kind of fascinating to me. All right, a blessing of stillness. The fairy gift of pause, calm, and an opportunity to be tranquil. Didn't that what I just kind of described? But it also says it is the moment, the long moment before all the other moments with their cares and responsibilities gather about you. Let the fairies give you their gift of time, their blessing of the long moment to gather about you and pause within while you cease observing and rush and hurry and the endless pressing things that must be done. Pause now and let them take you within, either within your own self to the place you have nurtured there, the grove within, or the grove, or the sea, or the lake, or the river, or the tree, or the garden, or the fireplace, or the rocking chair, and be still a while, human child. In this space, let calm return. Let peace quietly sit beside you and talk to you of how much there is to be glad of. Let an old friendship reignite, the one between you and your soul. And for these long moments between all the other moments, let yourself be taken into the world between the worlds and be still. So basically, you're going to be crossing realms here when you do this, going into the Fey realm. And when you return, there will be great presence to you, and you will be restored to your own center once again. So it is essentially meditation. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to be like you sitting there meditating. Uh, you can also, in terms of quiet moments, it's funny. I actually was trying to have that this morning, and the hustle and bustle of the world kept trying to wake me up and get me going. And I was like, oh my God, can you not? Pisces, because it was strange. I used to be that person before my illness. I would wake up at 7 o'clock and I would run, exercise, sometimes 6:30 if I was really, really lucky. Have a shake, run 30 minutes, take a shower, do the laundry, meditate. This is then I would go to either school or work. Um, unless except when I started working full time, then I had to go at like 8 o'clock. So I had to I couldn't get up at 5. That was way too early for me. So I would have to do that kind of stuff on the weekends. And I know some of you don't get to live the lifestyle that I live. And I'm so grateful for the lifestyle that I live, which is basically I get to wake up as my own boss and I get to wake up when I want to wake up and set my hours when I want to set my hours and work when I want to work as a contractor. Now with the website, it's different. I've already had those hours set up for years. So I kind of have my schedule down. I can go and figure out when is the best time to do this. But life, as I said, for me, has kind of been forcing things to go back to a type of order that it hasn't done in 7 years. It's very odd. And this was the morning where I woke up at 6:30. I woke up at 6:30. I got up just quick, got a cup of water, went back to sleep. And I was like, I'm only going to be down for another 30 minutes. Let me just lay here and kind of be between the realms and contemplate. And I had my timer set for 30 minutes, people were already hitting me up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, what the heck, man? I'm trying to enjoy this between the realms. Go away. I felt like that guy from that SNL skit. Go away. From the Adam Driver one where he's the medieval knight, like that announcer, if you know what I'm talking about. It's my favorite skit of his, other than the ketchup one. And I was just like, go away. Why are these people bothering me on a Thursday morning at 7 o'clock? It's not like it's 9 or 10 or 8:30. No, 7, 6:45. Like, no, this is too early for text messages. And I was a little perturbed because I wanted to be between the realms and I wanted to get the information that I needed, the psychic information. And then finally, by the third time, it was 23 seconds before my alarm went off. I got another message. I was like, that's it. I'm done. Like, I was like, okay, spirit is obviously not going to let me do it right now. This isn't a good time. I'm supposed to get up and go. I have a long day ahead of me. I have things to do. And I got it, but it was just like, it was frustrating. And so then I decided, okay, I'll take my pill. I have a thyroid pill, so I have to wait 30 minutes before I eat breakfast every morning, kind of like getting in and out of the pool. And I decided, okay, I'm going to make up my bed, put the clothes up. And while I was doing that, I put Tabitha's Takeover on because I used to watch that show all the time in college, the reruns, and I adored it. I adored Tabitha's mentality. I adored her work ethic. And I really, in the beginning, instilled that in my business, and I still do now, but it was just like, wow, I feel this energy I haven't felt in such a long time. And then it was funny because I was getting like intuitive insights while I was awake, watching the show, and I was like, oh, now I know why I had to get up. And then the other card you guys have, Pisces, is a blessing of the unseelie. This is a rare card to pull, and this is the only unseelie card in the deck, actually. For those of you that don't know, the unseelie are the fae that are a little bit dangerous. I'm not gonna lie, they be dangerous, man. You gotta be careful with them, and they're very much like Rumpelstiltskin, kind of tricksy. You got to be careful is what they're kind of known for, but they're rebels. They're rebels, and they have this wild independent spirit. And all fae can become unseelie if you really think about it. When you make a fae being mad, oh my god, like, you do not want to do that. Like, I tell people all the time, like, respect the fae. You make them mad, you got to clean up that mess. Like, I'm not helping you because I warn people, don't do it, don't do it. You do it, you gonna get them mad, and I can't be responsible for what happens. Because when a fae being is mad, all bets are off. It's literally like the you know how in there's that meme of play the reverse card or Uno 9 more. I would Uno 9 more if I were you. because getting a fae being mad is the last thing you want. It's not like they'll just give you bad luck. It's like they will not only give you bad luck, then they'll follow you around, then they'll cause problems everywhere. It's chaos. And that's the funny thing about the unseelie, though, is they are considered chaotic, tricksy. Yes, don't make deals with them. Okay, it's like making deals with Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. If you don't know who that is, go to YouTube and watch clips of Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time in the Enchanted Forest. You'll get an idea. Okay. There's always a catch with the deal, and it's usually not going to be for your benefit, but for theirs. But for the purpose of this card and its energy, it is an interesting, clear message, Pisces. It's about being a little unconventional, getting under people's skin just a little bit to kind of get them to know something about you. But I also feel this is very much Scorpio's energy. It's a very renegade kind of energy when used correctly, not to harm, not to maim, but to bring change. And I feel as though for you in your ninth house, this energy is being lit like a fire because Scorpio and the sun is in Scorpio. And this very much is Scorpio's colors of the red and the black and the hair. And oh my God, like it essentially, I feel like maybe this may be how you even view Scorpio, as like kind of unseelie. They also deal with the underworld and sex and death, and um themes of renewal is usually what gets lost because they are the renewal, but you are the life after the renewal, which a lot of people forget that about Scorpio, but know about you. And this is where I need you to kind of understand that whatever is happening in Scorpio season for you, Pisces, it's an ending, yes, but there is a positive new beginning depending on your perspective of it and how you go about that, because this energy can bring you true rewards, but it's also about learning about when to use your rebellious nature and when is not a good time to use your rebellious nature. When is a good time to speak your mind and be in your own voice and power, and when it is maybe not beneficial, or when it's a good idea to maybe give those insights, but in a way that may come off rebellious. I always like to think of Kat from 10 Things I Hate About You as this. She was a feminist, but she almost came off anti-feminism because she, because it's a retelling of the Taming of the Shrew, right? And I actually kind of very much was like that character in high school, where, it wasn't like, I wasn't sitting there listening to rap music on the way home to school and work. I was sitting there listening to alternative music on 94.5 The Buzz. If you don't know what that is, it's a Houston radio station. They're really cool. They're on iHeartRadio. You should check them out. I was listening to Rod Ryan in the mornings. I was listening to Mama T in the afternoons. I was listening to all the alternative bands like Slipknot and just it's more heavy metal was a more male dominated industry, and now I've gone back to this kind of female punk industry that's coming out in the music scene. Like now I'm listening to Luna Ora, and I'm listening to Ava Max and Motto, and I'm listening to Honey's my favorite by Luna Ora, but you see what I'm saying? Like it gives this more kind of mature, feminine, rebelistic aesthetic. It's still rebellious in nature, but it's also quite interesting how the retelling of the Taming of the Shrew with 10 Things, Kat comes off very like, they call her the shrew, but it's more of, she's more in her masculine energy, which they're not really talking about, but you kind of see it when she's quick to cut Heath Ledger off in terms of like, how she calls him screw boy and like things like that, and she doesn't necessarily embody the feminist traits of mystery, but she does at the end, but not in the beginning. She's very rough and around the edges. And I actually like that. And I feel like that is what this energy is, which for you, Pisces, is a polar opposite. And it's almost like you're magnetically being pulled to it. And it's not because you want to be, but it's because the universe is saying, hey, the sun is here. It's giving you some insights. Learn them while you can. So that is what I have for you guys. I would say if you want to work with the unseelie, don't. Instead, ask and invoke the goddess Freya to help you learn what the unseelie are trying to teach you through someone with wisdom. That's what I would say, because you don't really want to work with the unseelie. I mean, if you do, that's on you, but I'm not going to help you clean up that mess. So I'm going to pull the ants from Practical Magic and tell you clean up your own mess. So what I'm saying is ask Goddess Freya to send you the wisdom of what the Unseelie are trying to give to you, because they have wisdom in their actions. It's just, it's renegade energy and it can be quite misconstrued. So make sure it, when you ask her for help, ask her for a clear, direct message you will understand in your language, or I would say in your natal Mercury sign. There you go. Other than that, I love you so very much, Pisces. I will see you next month, probably after Black Friday, because my birthday is actually around Thanksgiving. So I'm going to probably take that week off, but I will be back to do the messages the following month. Join me on my website so you can do the live and the full moon and get the recaps and get the readings with me, or book an emergency session with me. Other than that, I love you so very much. I will talk to you later. Bye, my loves.